Hey, how's it going, guys? So, this is a little tiny mini cleaver. This was a collaboration. The handle videos that I had posted, back in the day, got a lot of attention, and this local buddy of mine hit me up, Stonewall Forge. He makes some really cool stuff, from axes to knives, cleavers, stuff like that. But he hit me up and he was like, "Hey man, I really like your design. Can I forge one out and bring it to you to finish off?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem at all." So I sent him a DXF, which is basically a two-dimensional CAD file for him to reference, and he basically brought it over just like you see there. Holes were already in it. Bevel was already ground on it. Had a nice little sharp edge to it. This is a 1/4-inch piece of bronze that I had. I had it for quite a while and never had a use for it. And once I got this, I was like, wow, this would be a really cool addition, for handles on this little guy. So, wanting to go off of what he actually gave me physically, rather than a CAD file, I went ahead and traced it out, drew in where I thought the handles would be, and there we go. Cut it out a piece of paper, do a left and a right, and just kind of laying it out on the material right there. Tape it down, and my best friend, the Sharpie. I've used the Daikin blue stain before, but I feel like it comes off real easily, especially with slick surfaces. So I definitely stand by Sharpies. So that they're all marked up and ready to get cut out. This steel plate here is just a sacrificial piece I'm using as a straight edge just to get my cut started, and just using the angle grinder and a cutoff wheel and chipping away at it. And bronze is a funny material. It seems to get kind of gummy. Aluminum does that too. It doesn't have like a bite like steel or stainless or titanium does. But there's that strip cut out, just enough for both the handles. And now just clamping it down and gonna split both those handles apart. I'm sure my neighbors loved hearing that. But there we go. Cut them apart and getting that tape back on. At this point I want to get a really accurate measurement for what I'm after. Before was just to figure out how much material I need. Now at this point it's going to be for actually grinding the blades out, hole layouts, things like that. So here I am, just using regular masking tape just to hold the placement of where I want to put the holes at. And what you don't see here is that little metal piece with the 2 bolts hanging out that I just snagged. I have 2 of those, and they're kind of a makeshift clamping system, if you will, for my drill press. So basically I can cinch down, torque the nuts down to the bolts, and that holds the piece in place so it doesn't, spin around or do anything wacky. And right now just using the pre-made holes that he had in the blank of the cleaver itself, and just basically following that through to the bottom piece. There we go, loosen it up a little bit, blow that hole out, and get that next hole lined up. This was a really fun build. The cleavers, like I had said before in the handle making video, was just something artistic that I wanted to do, you know, just kind of for myself. You know, if other people thought they were cool, that was kind of a plus. But you know, it was neat when he hit me up and was like, "Hey, I really like that design. Let's make a small version." And it never occurred to me that, like, you know, the giant sword versions that I have could be made into a little tiny mini version. So yeah, it was really interesting. So let's go ahead and set up for the other side of the handles. And essentially all I'm doing here is now just chasing through the bronze that I already cut holes. So I'm basically chasing through that and the cleaver hole all the way through to the bottom. That way we've got very parallel, very consistent holes, all symmetrical with each other. But yeah, just cruising on through. There we go. And basically the use of those 3 drill bits is to keep the 2 sides from shifting as I cut. Just keep all the holes aligned as I go. And here we go with a larger drill bit, just to remove the burrs. Whenever working with bronze, it seems to I don't know, protrude. When you drill a hole, it kind of has not only burr on the back, but has the face as well. So I'm just cleaning that up. And now we got a good size hole for the hardware that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to open up the hole sizes that he's already got in the cleaver and make them to a size that I can use with, as I said, the hardware to mount the handles to. There we go. And I went bit by bit, small steps to get those holes opened up large enough. I know the material that he had brought, you know, the cleaver made out of, was already heat treated. So the last thing I wanted to do was introduce a lot of heat, making big, huge holes. But there's those holes already milled down. As with the aluminum handles that I made in the previous video, it's kind of a step in the material with the hardware that I use. And those right there are kind of an afterthought. That's a 1/8 inch thick aluminum, and I was thinking, well, you know, if I do bronze and I have them able to be swapped out, why don't I make some aluminum ones, you know, while I'm at it. So those right there are threaded inserts, which is how I get the handles to stay on. Basically, these little tiny screws go in through those steps right there, and cinch down on those threaded inserts and keep everything sandwiched together nice and tight. And they were all profiled out. Went ahead and cleaned up the faces of the cleavers just to make them look real nice. And there it is, all assembled right now, making sure everything lines up. And there we go on the cleaver itself. Nice and shiny, all profiled up. Now I didn't record the process of the profiling on the bronze, but I did on the aluminum. So there we go with some pretty steep bevels on the bronze. And once I flip it over, that's the texturing that I do after the bevels, just to keep it consistent. A nice little curvature for the hand. And that was a patterning I just kind of came up with. I like battle distressed, I like textured, I like roughed up stuff. So it was really fun putting those grinds together. So here we go. This is the aluminum handles, and I'm just profiling them again on the TW90 horizontal vertical grinder. I've definitely said this before, but that machine is a beast. I love it. It makes very quick work of grinding anything you need to grind. But the aluminum handles being a lot thinner, because they were only 1/8 inch thick. The bronze handles are 1/4 inch thick. It was a lot quicker and easier to profile, but it was also a little tougher to get a final like texturing to the handle. But it was still pretty fun to do. There we go, using using every angle, flat, and curve that grinder has to offer to get those profiles down. And right now I'm just focusing basically on the back spine of the handles. Get them all profiled up, making sure everything's flush, everything's parallel. Just a nice way to relax. I know a lot of people might think that this is tedious work, which to an extent it is tedious, but I find it really, really fun. I love working with metal. I love grinding it, polishing it, texturing it, even battle distressing it. Alright, here we go on the belly side. And I guess I should say in this video too, what I have hooked up to the grinder right above me is a misting system that basically cools the material as I grind, because doing this much grinding on such small areas will generate a lot of heat, and the constant misting of water is a great reduction in heat, to the fact that you almost don't even notice the metal getting hot at all. The two cords that are coming off, the one goes back to my compressor, and the one in front comes right up to that little bucket of water. And luckily this is not the summer months of Arizona. Otherwise I might put ice in that water to keep it nice and cold. Here we go, getting all finished up. Getting those last minute touches. And there we go, all profiled on the spine and the belly. Just gotta knock off the front and the back, get those profiled up. There we go. Got the front and back all profiled, everything all assembled. Nice and shiny, nice and flush. Like I said, I love working with metal, and seeing it being freshly polished or freshly ground, so satisfying. So what we have here is a black Sharpie that I used, and did these little half circles, half moons. And I wanted to give my hand a try at file working. A lot of knives that I strive to, rise to that level of detail is file working around the spine of the knife itself. And this is me trying to figure out a repetitive way to do that. Traditionally this would be done with actual files, one by one, stroke by stroke, but I'm trying different bits here, and here we are with the pink bit. I'm not even sure what type this is. All I know is I had a few ceramic bits, this one being by far the champ of them all. It doesn't deteriorate very fast, and makes quick work of each of the little notches. And again, this repetitiveness, it's really fun, really relaxing. I like to do things that you can just kind of zone out, have fun, and this is definitely one of them. Although I don't know if I could imagine doing traditional file work with a file by hand. That might be the point where it gets tedious. But here we all are done up. All the way down the back, the spine, around the pommel, and down the belly. This was really satisfying to see once done. Alright, so working more on the cleaver, we should be up next with the texturing. So I had drawn with Sharpie some kind of guidelines that I was trying to follow, and really it all being at random. Like I said, I love battle distressing. I love random texturing, and this was just kind of a play it by the ear, see how it goes. And that orange belt that I have on there, I believe was a 60 grit blaze belt, which, if you know what that is, it definitely takes a chunk of material as it goes, and this thing was making very quick work of texturing, which was a great thing, because it's fun to just pick a spot, grind, and just keep trucking at it. And like I said, I had guidelines there, but it was really at random. Even the guidelines were at random. But yeah, eventually it came out really fun. I've since done a lot of patterning like this on quite a few of the cleavers. It's a great way to utilize the small wheel attachment. I guess this would be a great time to say the TW90 comes with that mount right there. Basically, it's a small sorry, it's a small wheel attachment, and you can basically get these 2-inch wheels by whichever diameter you need them, and basically pop on, pop off, and that black handle there will allow it to swivel around and quickly go into a secondary small wheel. I have a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and I believe a 3-inch small wheel for this attachment that I ended up purchasing. The 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch do great on nice thin textures. I believe I have the 1/2 inch on right now, which is how I achieved the texturing on the cleaver that you'll see here shortly. The 1/4 inch is great for really tight spots, real thin texturing and grinding, and the 3-inch is great for doing real thick bevels. And we should be done right about now. And there we go on that side. Alright, and here we are with more battle distressing. Those little hash marks right there, I love doing. Those are done with a Dremel with a metal cutoff wheel, little tiny guy. And just go around making little marks. But there's a cleaver all textured up on both sides. And after this, I get to do a patina. All right, and there's the aluminum handles, the bronze handles, and in the middle there, I didn't even do on camera because I just kind of did it on a whim. Oh, here's our aluminum black and perma blue. That's how I did the darkening on the blade with the perma blue, the bronze and the aluminum with the aluminum black. But the carbon fiber, like I was saying, I had a sheet of 1/4 inch thick carbon fiber, and as I was working, I was like, you know what? Since I'm making interchangeable handles, why don't I just try doing this too? So I did. But yeah, that perma blue is a gun bluing finish that you put onto steel, and it will basically turn it black. It's a great corrosion resistance, keeps it from rusting. I like to do it to where basically make the whole thing black and then take some sandpaper and then hit all the high spots and then bring back the steel, basically the steel color, leaving all the recessed areas nice and black. Gives a nice two-tone feel, makes all those textures pop. Even in the bronze, you know, you do the aluminum black, darkens the whole thing, and then just hit it real lightly on the high spots with sanding paper. And there's the aluminum right there, and the carbon fiber again. And for the first time, the sheath. I didn't even record making that. All brass fittings for everything. I just used some brown sewing thread that I had, and just kind of came together. I didn't really head any specific direction, but I knew I wanted to have some sort of attachment so you could attach it to your belt and carry it on your hip. Being such a small little mini cleaver, I thought it'd be something that you could just hang right off your belt loops or your belt itself. Kind of like a nice little side carry. Alright, so here we are with the aluminum handles. Again, the aluminum was 1/8 inch thick, half the thickness of the bronze. So the texturing on that was quite a bit more shallow. So not as deep, not as contoured, but still something to look at, something nice. And there's the other side. It feels really nice in the hand too. I was almost scared that being so small compared to the larger versions, the handle might be too thin, but it feels really, really nice. It's a good little chopper. Oh, and that file work down the spine. Oh, I love it. And there we are with the carbon fiber handles. And the carbon fiber, it was fun to work with, but it makes one heck of a mess. It definitely, if you don't use water, like I used the misting system when I was grinding on it. If you don't use water, carbon fiber dust particles will be everywhere. Not to mention everywhere surface-wise, but also in your nose, in your mouth. So definitely a respirator is good, like I said, if you're not using water as you grind. Yeah, I can't get enough of that file work, and I don't mean that in any conceited way. I'm just really proud for a first try doing it. I thought it came out really, really cool. Really dug how it came out, and the bronze, I think that's probably my favorite handle set on this one. And the way, how thick it was, 1/4 inch thick, and how it contoured with all the texturing around, it gives a really nice grip. But it's all that battle distressing all over. But yeah, I hope you guys really dug how it came out. I was pretty proud of it. Again, this was just a one-off mini collaboration. I will definitely have more videos of all the large ones coming up here very shortly. So I hope you guys dig it, and again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.